Cry and his friends break into wealth vaults all over the world, but Cry is too young to be good at it. Even so, people kept having higher hopes for Cry. Cry got better at begging while his friends got bigger and greedier. Today's episode begins with the members of the Akashi Tower. One of them tells Flick that Sophia requested they send the enhanced specters one by one, which seems like begging to be defeated individually. Flick responds that, in the end, she's just a scientist who doesn't understand what a real battle is. His comrades suggest summoning her immediately, but they explain that she has gone out to inspect the defense systems and isn't answering her soundstone either. Flick becomes furious, admonishing them to take all necessary precautions as they're dealing with countless tricks. However, he warns that if the leader is incompetent, they could lose even this easy biss. Another member responds that although their master has given Sophia full authority, victory is the ultimate priority, and at this rate, their master's reputation will be tarnished. Flick then orders them to unleash all the specters to crush the enemy in one blow. We then move to Sven and his group, who have captured 2 members of the Akashi Tower who created the slime. Citri smart talks to the 2 men, telling them she knows their leader is the master of mages, Noctis Cochlear. She assures them of their safety and asks them to reveal his location. The men refuse, saying they would gladly give their lives for him. Citri reveals that she has been monitoring the Akashi Tower for a long time and knows everything about them. She insists she doesn't want to resort to uncivilized measures, but the men still refuse to disclose their leader's whereabouts. Citri then takes out a vial and explains that if she places this colored water on their tongues, at which point Adoria interrupts her, asking her to stop, saying the concoction is illegal. It distorts people's awareness and forces confessions or erases memories, making it highly dangerous. Citri responds that if they don't hurry, Noctis will escape. Jark interjects, asking her to calm down. While he agrees Citri is wrong, she can't do as she pleases just because they are prisoners. Citri replies that it was only a joke and drinks some of the colored water herself, proving it harmless. She reveals she tricked them, having developed a resistance to the liquid. We then cut to Sven, who is informed by one of the prisoners that the monsters have arrived and will crush them all. Suddenly, a giant red monster appears, making Sven tense. The prisoner continues, stating this is not the only one, they have many, and the monsters possess various types of magical barriers. Sven realizes he needs to narrow down the elemental focus for each area to break through. Citri points out that the monster's color differs, likely indicating a different magical base. She orders shield bearers to move to the front line, crucial for determining the force field's outputs and direction. They must release contact with the shield immediately upon impact, or their arms will be torn apart. The monster charges at Lyle, who blocks with his shield but struggles to fight back. He calls for his comrades to slow the creature's movements. Citri deduces the barrier is rotational, spinning to the right, making it impossible to approach certain body parts. Jark suggests using his axe to attack, and waiting for the creature's magic to deplete. Citri counters that its magic won't run out. Given its size and mana reserves, it could easily continue for another hour. Sven realizes why Cray sent Ark to this location. Citri adds that if they focus all their magical attacks on one spot and strike repeatedly, or temporarily neutralize part of the magical barrier, they might break through, but this would require an exceptionally high skill level. At this moment, another monster appears, followed by many more. Sven orders a retreat, but Jark tells him it's not that simple. Even if reinforcements arrive, it might be too late. Citri agrees, saying she never expected such foolish people to be part of the Akashi Tower. She orders her men to stop their magical attacks. The monsters then begin fighting each other. Citri explains that the monsters are hunters replenishing their depleted mana reserves, as specters are essentially condensed mana. A third monster notices the fight and charges in to join. Chaos erupts as specters fight each other everywhere. The prisoners rejoice, claiming this is the fruit of their research. The specters are incredibly powerful. Meanwhile, Talia ponders why they are sending them one by one. Then we shift to the Akashi Tower where Noctis is with his men. He reminds them that he had instructed them to treat Sophia's words as his own. Despite knowing this, they admit their mistake of consuming all the magical transformation elixirs. His men plead for forgiveness, explaining that they had no idea what was happening on the battlefield. Sophia speaks through the transmission device, explaining that her decision not to send multiple transformed specters simultaneously wasn't due to inexperience or random directives. She simply points out that Flick lacks experience. Noctis asks her about their next steps, and she informs him that Citri and a former hunter named Jark have joined the investigative party. Flick is shocked to learn that the branch director of the association has come to the front lines, despite being retired for a long time. Sophia continues, explaining that since they've lost the magical transformation elixirs, their battle will be more challenging. However, they cannot let this end without accomplishing anything, as it would tarnish Noctis's standing within the tower. She adds that the investigative party has captured their people and will extract all the necessary information. Flick protests, saying they won't give away anything because they swore loyalty to their master. Sophia replies that Citri will eventually uncover everything and find their base. This is an all-out battle, and they must strike first to win. She proposes using the Hate Eaters to overpower the investigative party, luring the survivors into their grasp, and then using their trump cards to destroy them. Noctis agrees it's a good idea but points out that the Hate Eaters are only partially trained and need a leader for effective results. Sophia suggests making Flick their commander, emphasizing that he is a skilled mage who has never failed before. Although nervous, Flick accepts and promises his master to teach the hunters a lesson they'll never forget. We return to Sven and his group, where Talia observes Citri. Citri is a rare breed among hunters, a chemist like Talia herself. As a child, she was nicknamed the Genius Prodigy for her immense talent and passion. Citri was willing to conduct even the most dangerous experiments, never giving up, but always staying within the bounds of the law. Her extraordinary intelligence once made Talia feel both fear and envy in her presence. Sven approaches Talia, commenting that the afternoon has been intense. He admits he never guessed the anti-slime measures wouldn't work and apologizes for putting her in an awkward position. He complains that Cray never provides them with vital information about the slime experiments and mentions how irritating it is. Sven jokingly adds that people stare at her so much, perhaps because of her striking hair, and advises her to alert him immediately if anything happens. Talia agrees and glances at the prisoners as Sven leaves. The scene shifts to Jark speaking with Citri, advising her not to overexert herself. Despite the large number of hunters assembled, this is still only an investigation. Facing the Akashi Tower isn't something the association can handle alone. Depending on the enemy's next moves, they shouldn't overcommit and might need to retreat. Citri responds that she has pinpointed the enemy's approximate location by analyzing the flow of ley lines, the concentration of mana, elevation differences, geological features, and the locations of slime-like entities. She points to a cliff, explaining that it's the likely spot. Adoria is impressed by her deep analysis in such a short time and asks if she deduced this alone. Citri replies that it's correct, they are facing Noctis Cochlear's disciples. One of the prisoners angrily shouts that her guess is entirely wrong and denies that Noctis is anywhere near the location. Citri coolly responds that if her assumption is accurate, they could attack before Noctis has the chance to flee. Sven decides to press on, stating that they've come too far to turn back now. The prisoner becomes even more agitated, pleading with them to stop, insisting there's nothing there and that their master isn't in that area. He calls for Sophia to save them, leaving everyone stunned as they ask who Sophia is. Citri explains that if Sophia were out in the open, things would be much easier. She describes Sophia Black as Noctis's apprentice and her own rival, a figure as elusive as a shadow. If they don't capture Noctis and Sophia, this type of research will never end. Citri vows with her honor to imprison Sophia in the Southern Astoria prison, declaring that she isn't innocent of that case and must be stopped. Then the scene shifts to Cry, accompanied by Liz and Tino, as he says, appearing only when everything is almost over. Liz urges him, let's hurry and go to them before C dies. He replies, she won't die. If anyone is going to die, it will be me. I haven't been able to charge any of my relics, and I don't have enough safety rings. Tino speaks to Cry, saying, we are getting closer to the lair of the White Wolf, but it's dark and dangerous. So I was thinking, maybe I could hold your hand. Liz screams at her, it will take 1,000,000 light years before you're worthy of holding his hand. Cry leaves them to quarrel and uses his magic, thinking to himself, this should suffice for now, but I don't know how long these relics will last. Liz responds, leave it to me. No matter who or what targets us, I'll kill them, and directs Tino to protect Cry as well. Cry recalls what Citri said about crushing the entire investigation party. The scene then shifts to Seven, Citri, and their companions. A man says, that crafty guy. The level 8 you admire, and the obsidian cross won't show up. If I had realized his greatness earlier, things wouldn't have ended this way. Chitri explains, Cry was essentially born to be a treasure hunter. I'm sure he will eventually reach level 10. But strength is only one of many factors, even if Cry is hypothetically weaker than a sand rabbit in combat. 7 asks Chitri about the magical creature that always accompanies her. Didn't you bring it today? She replies, if you mean Keelam, it's currently under maintenance. Suddenly, the creature appears and strikes them from above. Flick laughs and taunts them. This is my high-quality magical attack, Catastrophic Thunder. You don't need a defense system while I'm here. It seems I've used a lot of mana, but my spells are one-hit kills. Wiping out the investigation party will make my master happy. You hunters are strong, but it's over now. I'll bury you along with the humiliation that woman inflicted on me. 7 awakens, saying, you belong to the Akashic Tower. Chitri responds, I used a wide area spell when we had hostages. I kind of knew I couldn't replace Cry. Flick is shocked. Didn't you get hit by my catastrophic thunder? She replies, I'll answer your question with another. Did you think that spell would leave me immobilized? Spells like that aren't rare in the high-level treasure vaults we frequent. Enraged, Flick exclaims, are you saying my trump card, Catastrophic Thunder, is nothing special? 7 strikes him with a gun to heal him, then charges at Flick. However, Flick counters, and as 7 falls, the beast moves to strike him. At the last moment, Gark intervenes and saves him. Ketre then orders the soldiers, if any of you have healing spells, step up now. And if anyone's heart stops beating, kick it back into rhythm. Gark says to Cry, I can't believe Chitri is using a compressed healing potion with a water gun. It's a clever move. The scene shifts to an old man angrily saying, I told Sophia to take all the hate eaters, not just one. Why can't he follow a single order? Doesn't he still see the difference in power? Another man replies, even his catastrophic thunder inflicted minimal damage on their forces. It seems they're moving forward despite everything going against our expectations. So the magically transformed ghosts were defeated, and our location was easily deduced. So it's as if that crafty guy planned everything to turn out this way. You should escape, at least. We'll delay them with the remaining hate eaters. The old man responds, we still have a trump card. We have Akasha, and we have Sophia as well. There's no need to abandon this place unless we're completely defeated. Watching my disciples fight to the bitter end is also my responsibility. By the name of the Akashic Tower, destroy the investigation team. Later, Kutri tells 7, Noctis headquarters is definitely at the back of this cave. 7 replies, then break through them before they get to us first. Like Cry, you're asking for the impossible. Gark interrupts, and trust your lives to me. The 3 of us will go in first. The mages are the support, but we need to take down the Chamaras. Everyone charges in to crush the enemy, with Gark stating, I won't let it end with Liz mocking me. Liz comments to Cry, it looks like some kind of lightning magic. Its power is quite average, considering the size of that thing. I don't think it was average at all. With that, today's episode ends. Stay tuned for the next episode to find out what is Noctis Cochlear's ultimate weapon? What will Sophia Black's next move be? Will our hero Cry continue to remain uninvolved? If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell to stay updated.